everyone, welcome to Jie Podcast. Today we're going to talk about social egg freezing, and we actually filmed this topic a few weeks ago when it was still illegal and we were planning to refilm it because the audio was damn bad. But in this time that we were procrastinating and waiting for the correct opportunity, suddenly it became legal. So actually it's a good time to talk about this now. A few weeks ago when we were filming this, we were actually talking about why it was still illegal in Singapore. And one of the very big and controversial reasons that a lot of women in Singapore got very upset with was because of what the church said. So do you have the document?
Okay, but we put it out there first that we didn't agree with what they said. Like we support the egg freezing.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, I have the article. So the NCCS put out a statement about 3 years ago talking about this egg freezing topic. So the stand that they were taking was that they support medical egg freezing for like obvious reasons, and they had a whole list of reasons to why they didn't support. Some of it, okay, to a certain extent they do have a point, but the one that we really didn't agree with them was that they feel that by encouraging this egg freezing thing, women will end up marrying later, and then they find that it's not a healthy thing because the best age for a woman to have a child is between 20 and 35. So I remember the previous recording you had a lot to say about this.
Yeah, because what they specifically said is that they want the children to have the best start in life, and they said that younger women are able to give children the best start in life because when you're older, you don't have as much energy and whatever rubbish that they were talking about. And I really, really disagree on this point because I think because I think it's a very stupid assumption to assume that when you are older, you won't have energy for your child, especially if, you are just having children in your 40s. Yes, you will have less energy than someone who's 20, but like, as long as you love your child and you make and you do your best, really does it matter? And when you're 20 years old, you're so financially unstable. When you're 40 years old, you have achieved everything that you want. You have, your career, you have money to raise your child, you have that stability, you're more mature. Do you know how many people in their 20s are stupid? Literally, there's so many people in their 20s, they haven't accomplished what they wanted to do. They're just
I feel like a lot of
going
people
through life.
in 20s, they don't know what they want to do.
Exactly. So I thought that was a very bad assumption to make about older parents. And I think both of us, our parents had us when they were not in their 20s. I won't say very old, but like they're not in their 20s. And there's nothing wrong. It's just nothing wrong with that. So I felt I really
the thing
thought
that
was very
the thing that stood out was that what if people don't get married between 20 to 35? Like they just are not lucky enough to find someone to have family with within that range. That is not their fault, that they end up having children later.
Yeah. And also I feel that's a very selfish thing to say because you're taking away people's choice of when they choose to have children in their life. It's not up to the church to decide when they think the best time for having kids should be. So I want to mention, even though like both of us are Christians and we go to church, so by the way, the NCCS stands for the National Council of Churches in Singapore. Their whole document, right, really was very annoying because I think Sarah pointed out, they didn't mention anything about the Bible. Like everything was just social, like everything was just, they say one, they say this, they say that, but nothing was like, this is actually, found in the Bible. So we were saying, right, in the Bible, actually, there's this story. I think it's one of the more famous ones is Sarah and Abraham. And Sarah had a kid when she was like 80 or 90. Yeah. And, so, like, I that's why I read that thing. I just thought it was so horrible. And also, not everybody's a Christian. So why are you forcing forcing people who don't believe in your philosophy to follow your ways. And I think it was very irresponsible of them because, they are the National Council, right, of Singapore, and a lot of the churches look to them for guidance as well. Like they follow their what would you call it? They follow
direction.
Yeah, they follow their direction. So it's I just think it's very irresponsible.
See, when they passed the bill, will they consider this also?
I think they did. Okay, yeah, the thing is, right, sometimes I don't know, the last time when it was still illegal, they mentioned them, right? They mentioned them, but I don't know how much they take into consideration because they always say, like, Christians make up like 20% of the population. So it's quite a significant part of the population. That's why they use this as like, oh, the Christians in Singapore will be against it. But
Okay.
I mean, I don't know how much they actually take into consideration. I mean, like the casino, our 2 casinos in Singapore have still been built, even though there was like opposition or whatever, So I don't know how much they actually take it into consideration, or they were just using it as like one of the reasons why they don't want to allow it.
But all is fine.
But moving on to better days, times have changed within the past 3 weeks.
3 years.
Was it 3? Yeah. So that article came out in like 2019. Their reasons came out in 2019. And in the past 5 weeks, things have changed. So now we are allowed to go for this social egg freezing. So here's the news from the Straits Times. Now, women can, as in like in 2020, currently, women can only freeze their eggs for medical reasons, and such as when they have to undergo chemotherapy, which may adversely affect their fertility. But from 2023 onwards, people are allowed to do social egg freezing. And that's when you can freeze your egg. As long as you're between 21 to 35, you can choose to freeze your eggs during that time. So this age limit is in line with the egg donor limit as well, which I think is fair. Which is fair because they also said that after 35, your egg quality starts to decline significantly. So I think as long as
I think that's the purpose of egg freezing.
Yeah, that's the
because
purpose
you
of
want to keep your healthy eggs. Yeah, so it makes sense. And but the only thing is that you only can use those eggs if you are married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think of that?
Yeah, I think it's. I honestly don't think that the church will be unhappy.
Not about the church, like not about the church. Forget about the church. Like, what do you personally think of having to be married to use your egg?
I think it makes sense though.
I agree also.
It's not that I think it's not I have anything against single mom. I feel like I cannot raise a kid alone. I need someone to be there for me.
I think, I feel it's very difficult to say nowadays because there are a lot of people who can raise their children by themselves, and a lot of people are raised by, a single parent. But I think they have a point, and in terms of like stability wise, and like when they're thinking of a complete family. Yeah, I think in that aspect it does make sense.
Like financially wise, it's better to have like 2 people supporting the kid.
Yeah. I'm very sure when they came up with this, they're thinking of, well, how do you say, functioning. Both parents are very functioning because I'm aware there are a lot of fathers or even mothers out there that are just adding to the family's burdens. You've seen a lot of parents that are completely useless, and it's worse than being in a single parent family. But I think they came up with this with good intention. So I actually got nothing really much against that. But it's sad for people who want to the thing is, right, if you do this because you don't currently have a partner, and let's say even by the time you're 40 you don't have a partner but you really want a child, then that's the problem, because you need to be married.
No, the thing is like it's not okay lah, but the thing is it's not that you won't have eggs anymore after doing this. So by 40, right, if you still really, really, really want a child, right, you can get it on Tinder. You get what I mean? Yeah,
you find someone to you find someone to have a contract with you, contract marriage. We are here just for the purpose of baby. Yeah, but I think
as in, like,
that's a
to find a
separate
sperm
issue.
donor on Tinder.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, they don't let you even do IVF if you are not married.
No, you do it yourself naturally.
Ah,
Like, if you
okay.
really want a kid, if that is what you want.
Yeah, I get what you're trying to say. Yeah, but I think there's a different conversation of whether, people should be allowed. Because adoption, everything so far is all only for married people. So there's a different...
Can marry for single people. Okay,
Huh?
I looked it
Can
up.
adopt?
Because
Can
I
adopt?
have single, right? Yeah.
Oh, really?
I checked. Okay, I have seriously considered it. So I went to check whether single people can adopt. So can, like, the social workers will come and, like, evaluate everything. But okay, I've never heard of, like, a single person adopting a child, but apparently it's possible.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, but I
Okay.
think if you're a single male, you cannot adopt girl.
A girl.
Unless
Oh.
it's, like, related to you, like your relative, that kind of thing. Yeah.
This type of thing is very difficult to say. Now a lot of the news, right? A lot of the father. Recently, I think just yesterday, I was seeing one in Singapore. Why are there so many incest cases
You
recently?
take photo of the kid or
Yeah.
something. Take video.
Take photo of the girl changing in the room. Why are there so many incest cases going on nowadays? I just don't get it. A lot of this, like father and daughter, even father and son. Then what's going on?
Yeah, it's gross.
Anyway, now we're off topic. But going back to this. So over here, the Miss Sun Xueling, the Minister of State for Social and Family Development, also say that they recognize that women who are not able to find a suitable partner when they are younger may still wish to preserve the likelihood of conceiving when they marry later. So, Sarah, now you're single. Have you ever considered egg freezing?
Okay, I think if it's free, I will do it. No, not free, but it's the only thing that is deterring me, right, is the cost. Yeah. How much is it again? $10,000?
Yeah.
For medical.
So for now, medical, right, is 10,000. According to our research, again, we are not doctors and not experts on this subject, so we only can tell you what we can find online, which is 10,000. And that's a lot of money. That's for one cycle. So I remember I saw that you have to do 2 to 5 cycles. So I don't know if they give you a discount or it gets cheaper because maybe it's the initial starting, it may cost more money. I really am not sure about that, but they did say one cycle is about 10,000 Singapore dollars, which is a lot of money.
Yes.
That is
and, like,
excluding
not just
the yearly storage fees, excluding that. Yeah.
I
So
feel
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
If you can afford the egg freezing, right, you should be financially stable to have a child anyway.
Okay. I think so, but so one of the so this person, like, from this show we watched called The Real, right, Jeannie Mai, she did egg freezing when she was married, and she did it because even when she was in her 30s, she was still very unsure of whether she wanted to have children or not. So I think if you are going to, most of the people who do social egg freezing, right, you will be in this category. Because if you are young, right, like let's say our age now, like we're 25, if you just think about, I think I want to have children at like 30, let's say 30 is still okay, right? You won't even think about doing social egg. You won't even think about freezing your egg because you'll be thinking, 30, I still can have children and I don't have this problem yet. It's only by the time you are 30 and you are still unsure, then you will start to do. Or let's say you are 30
like
and you are still
35
single.
and you haven't met anyone. Yeah.
Exactly. So I feel like most people will be in this category. You won't do egg freezing if you are like, just as a precaution, I'm going to spend that $10,000.
Unless you are very rich.
Yeah, because
Unless
a lot of
10,000
people...
is nothing.
Exactly, because a lot of people, when you're young, it doesn't really occur to you that you may have infertility problems. And the thing is, you won't know until you start to try. So I think cost-wise, yeah, I don't think anybody who is young and don't have any medical problems will even consider this. I feel like the age where they will even where you will even start to consider, oh, do I want to do it? Do I want to do it? Do I want to have children or not? And you start to have this dilemma is only when you're like 30 years old, which is fine. I mean, now they let you before you're 35 anyway.
Oh,
Yeah.
but it's okay lah. I read the procedure, right? It's not just the cost that is the main thing that is like stopping me from doing it. I saw that. Okay, let me just briefly explain like what they will do to like retrieve your eggs. So okay, the person will receive a round of hormone injections that will stimulate the ovaries to produce multiple eggs. So I think they will have to take like the hormone injections for like maybe 5 to 10 days, and then the doctor will like monitor the ovaries through like ultrasound. So after this like 1 or 2 weeks, right, they will retrieve the egg, and then basically it's like they'll do it under sedation or like mild anesthesia. So they will insert a needle into your down there, and then they will like retrieve out the eggs. So I'm scared. Okay.
I wonder how the is it supposed to be a flexible needle? I don't know how they do it. Like you poke and then it go into the ovaries. I can't imagine.
Yeah. Okay, but at least it's under sedation. But I think it's like, you know, you have to go through like the hormone therapy. Uh-huh.
So there are a lot of side effects
Yeah.
that come with that. So I think you get like mood swings, you gain weight, you
Maybe for 2 weeks is bearable for like a lot of people. But I cannot. I know I cannot.
I don't think, I feel like for me, the thing that would deter me is the cost. It's not really the procedure. I feel like 2 weeks, I would just be like, yeah, okay, whatever. 2 weeks will pass very fast. But
So yeah.
I think for now, I'm pretty certain that I would want to have kids in my 30s. So that's why I never also occurred to me to ever do egg freezing. Unless by the time I'm 30, I find myself single and I find that I have suddenly an amazing career opportunity, then I would really consider.
I feel like I will have kids in my 30s also, even up to like early 40s. Like Jeannie Mai, she actually looks amazing for like a 42-year-old pregnant woman.
Nowadays, you cannot tell how old people are. Like I cannot tell from their face how old they are.
No, she looks very healthy. So like
She does. And she got a lot of energy. Yeah, that's why I was talking about what the NCCS say. I think because we've been watching her for a very long time, I think you also can see how she mature as a person. I think she used to be very reckless and
she's a much
rash.
more mature person. Yeah, now.
Yeah, and now she's like much more stable, and at least I don't know whether it's because of a relationship or what, but you know, she just seems like she's happy because it is the correct time for her.
That's what I believe also. Like you should have a kid when it's
You
a
want
good time.
to. Yeah. So the news also says that women will be counseled before they freeze their eggs to help them understand the invasive nature, which is what Sarah mentioned just now. The other problem is that there is very low success rates. So when we were looking up the success rates, the highest success rate that I saw was 15%. So I was looking at some stats from Singapore and also from UK. So these articles in particular says that in Singapore, the success rate is from 2 to 12%. In UK, the highest one I saw was only 15%. And that is very low for the amount of money that you are spending on freezing your eggs. And I think it's because there are a lot of problems that can arise, right, from the procedure that when you're freezing the eggs, when you're defrosting the eggs, you know, I think it depends on the individual clinics. And apparently in UK, you can actually look up like the success rate for the clinic. I'm not sure on this, but I think you can. So that's one of the things that the NCCS also mentioned, is that it gives people false hope. And that's one point I guess both agree on, because
Yeah, it does lah. To a certain
it does.
extent, it does.
A lot of people do this procedure because they are hoping that they're trying to buy a guarantee into the future. But this guarantee is like, if we just take the average of that, there's maybe like 6% chance of actually getting a successful child out of this. So that's pretty low. So like, yeah, Josephine Teo say that the move to allow elective egg freezing is not about raising the total fertility rate, but empowering women with choice. And I'm very glad
Isn't that true?
Yeah, I'm very glad that they're finally moving in that direction, because I feel like the way that Singapore has been promoting motherhood and children for years has always seen
The
women
fertility rate.
as, I always see women
Baby-making
as
machines.
baby. Yeah, you're just there to make sure that our fertility rate is above 2.2. You know, it's like, I feel like when they actually decided to do this, and she said that, you know, I don't always agree with the things she say, but when she said this, I feel like yeah, definitely it's really like a step forward, that they are thinking about what we want to do and not what the country needs to do. And to be fair, right? Nobody will have a child before they are ready, just because of the government's 2.2 policy lah. So we'll forget about that. Okay, so that's all for today's podcast. So yes, egg freezing is finally an option for all of us between 21 and 35. So let us know if you are interested in getting your eggs frozen. Why would you do it? And if you can afford to do it. When do you intend to become a mother, and what are your motivations for egg freezing? I'm really curious. If I can, I would want to find someone who is going through the treatment or is intending to start on it soon, and I really want to ask them, like, why what are your plans, and you know, what is the motivation behind all this. So yep, that's all for today. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next time. Bye.